It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend with Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. Every day, everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, K-Man. Happy Monday. Just a few more days until Christmas, but we are working straight through. No break this year. Yep, we'll take Christmas Day off. We'll take Boxing Day off. Those are the official holidays. But otherwise, we are walking straight through, walking and working straight through the holidays. So good morning to everyone. Hope that you guys have had a good weekend. The truth of the matter is, we just have so much stuff to cover, so much stuff going on. Public awareness campaign. So that's why we're going to just push on through. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody had a good weekend? Okay. Going to tell you what I was up to this weekend. Lots of interesting things going on. So we're going to get into some of that. Let's see who is joining us this morning as I gather all of the social media links and send those out to everyone. Good morning. Hi, how are you doing? Yes, you sitting right there in your car, being so grateful that there's less traffic on the roadway now that the kids are out of school. Is everyone out, by the way? I think most kids are. So this should be good. Good opportunity to sleep in just a tad. Not much. You can't sleep in too much. But yes, you can sleep in just a little bit. I'm just grabbing our social media links here to send out to the channel. Don't forget, if you've not joined the channel, you should do so. Get all the links every single morning. All of your news alerts, all of your traffic alerts, everything in one central location. Beautiful. There we go. And then I'm in a few groups So I send those out to the groups as well. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we're done. Just like that. Everybody's now got the link. People can start logging on. And in the comment section, we have Aliano. Good morning, sir. Somebody keeps messing with my styles. Hold on. I don't know who. I'm not sure who else is using my account that messes with the styles. I got a question about that, actually. Let me just. Yep. So we have, who else is here with us? Deborah. Good morning, Miss Deborah. How you doing, honey child? Aliano says, let's hear one side perspective on the e-bike scooter issue. Yes and no. Okay, we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it. Marshall, good morning to you. How you doing? Demara is joining us from NYC. Strong Wilt is here. Says, good morning, Auntie. And happy Monday. God bless you and the CMR family. Thank you so much. Felicia Rankin is in the house. Good morning, Felicia. Look at Patricia Blake. Rise and shine, honey chill. When the kids are home, sometimes it takes you guys a little minute to get up in the mornings because, I don't blame you. If you don't have to drive in that traffic and you can sleep in a bit more, why not? Yeah, I'm all about it. Why not sleep in a tad bit longer? I hit the snooze this morning on my alarm clock for about 5 minutes. And then I said to myself, can't sleep in any longer than that. Gotta get it. And so then we were up and at 'em. So the weather has been really, really lovely. It was not too cold, or not too warm, I should say, over the weekend. I felt a little bit on Sunday because we were out in the sun for a minute, but it wasn't too bad. So I went to a family reunion this weekend. That was very, very interesting. Big shout out to the McField clan, Evelyn, Rocket, and the rest of the Wendy and the rest of the cousins and good folks who put together the McField, the first ever family reunion for the McFields. And boy, I can tell you, it is a very, very big family. Had no idea. We had people fly in from overseas to be here with us. We've got people all over the place. And of course, I had an opportunity to sit down with a few folks. And, Mr. Steve McField is kind of like the family historian, really. And he knows a lot. And so I got to sit down with him for about 10 minutes or so and talked a little bit about the McField clan. And he knows so much about so many different things when it comes to like family history and stuff. So I told him in the new year, he's going to be 91 in a couple months. And so in the new year, I want to sit down with him a bit more and find out some more details about the family. Not just that family tree, but he also knows a lot about my dad. And he says, my dad has some connections to the Solomons, McFields, like all over the place. And of course, the Ebanks is from the West as well. So I'm hoping that we can dig a little bit more with him and, we can get some more details on how things are going with the family tree. So it's incredibly interesting. And, that oral history, folks, when it comes to finding out who you are, is very, very important. Because sometimes, the official birth certificates don't tell the full story. Y'all know how that goes back in the day. So-and-so claimed a child and, they didn't make a fuss about it back then. They just did what they had to do. But everybody in the neighborhood knew that child was for so-and-so. And so, y'all know how this went back then. The Mall Road was heavy back in those days. Yes, honey child. It's just that they weren't publishing it anywhere as such, but they were talking it. What he for so-and-so, Yeah, honey child. Don't you know who is his papa's? There's also his uncle. Yes, sir. Those were the good old days. The good old days. The Mall Road was getting it from way back when. Good morning, Risa. How you doing? Season's greetings. Merry Christmas. It's upon us now. Abby, good morning. How are you? Good morning, Miss Stephanie. So it was an amazing event. Give me 1 second here. I see I got a phone call coming in. Oh Lord. I don't even have in my headsets yet. Hold on. But it was well attended. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Hi. Morning, you're on air. Live and direct.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
Hello.
Uh-oh, hold on. I don't think she can hear me. Hold on 1 second.
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Uh-oh. Oh gosh, I needed to fix some mic adjustments. Hold on. Oh. But it was a really nice weekend. I can hear her, but okay. Yeah, it was a really nice weekend, and so many people attended, like I said, that you might have never seen before, and you were kind of like, who is that person? And who is this person? And who is that person? And it was a great opportunity. It was a weekend long event starting from Friday. And hold on 1 second. I think we're getting a phone call to talk about the event. Give me 1 second. Yes, let's get the full rundown from Miss Evelyn. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
You can hear me now?
Am I?
You're on air, live and direct. Hello. Hi.
I didn't want to be on.
Oh well, I'm live. That's the only way we can talk this morning because I am on air. I don't have a whole button.
Well, just let me say, I want to say a big thank you to all the Macfields who came out this weekend. We had a wonderful bonding time as a family, and I'm hoping and praying that the next generation will continue this tradition that we have started. It was quite an enlightening weekend. Much was learned.
Mm-hmm.
Many new cousins realized that they were going to the same school and that they were cousins and didn't know it. So it was absolutely a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, I thought that was such a cute story with the two little girls who kind of knew each other from school but had no idea that they were family. Now you had a full weekend, Evelyn, of events culminating in a family barbecue yesterday. What kind of gave you? I think you were the brain behind this original idea.
No, I was definitely not the brain. It was a collective idea between quite a few Macfields. I'm not sure that they all want their names called, but there was a committee. It was not.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that had been talked about for almost 2 decades that we were going to do it. We're going to do it, and finally, thanks to Wendy Evans Williams, who brought it all together.
Yeah, I've gotten so much positive feedback from people who attended. They might not have been able to attend every single event, but they just thought it was such a wonderful idea. Was there anything that you learned this weekend that was a bit surprising to you in terms of the history of the Macfields?
Yes, there were a few things, but most of it, thank God that my grandmother and my mom had kept me in the loop. And also I talk a lot to Dr. Steve Macfield,
Mm-hmm.
who could almost be our family historian.
Yes.
And I'm sure that we will prepare some things for you that you can play on your show, and hopefully we will continue to update our Instagram and Facebook page with Huyafa, know your stuff, that sort of stuff. So hopefully other people will learn just how prominent the Macfields were, and probably still is in Cayman, but just on a quiet side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, when we announced that Cabana Bay had belonged to Lemuel Macfield, a lot of the family members were quite shocked. They didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite a bit that I think that should be shared. That Pa actually sailed a boat from Jamaica to England for the Mountbattens and those are, of course, are the royals.
Mm-hmm.
So there were many, many things. We had educators back in the um, early 1900s. We had shop owners, Mr. Shirley Macfield. So there's a lot that the younger ones learned, and that's good that they know that that their family was really people who helped to shape these Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the phone call. And is it going to be an annual event now, or what are you guys thinking? How often do you think you'll do it?
Let us recover first and think about that.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Yes, there's a lot that goes into these events, and they really had it so well organized. They were even teaching the kids the what's the dance called again?
They had the quadrille, they
The
had the
quadrille.
maypole,
Yes.
and I think the best game of all was the bingo. And they actually had to go and talk to the young kids had to go and talk to the older kids
Mm-hmm.
to find information out about their game to be able to answer their bingo questions. So I thought that intergenerational connection
Mm-hmm.
that was made was, priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
priceless.
Yeah. Yep. All right, my dear. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye bye. I even had one person, this is why these things are so important. This is why you gotta dive into Huyafa and family history. And of course, you guys know that we agreed over a month ago now that we're going to be doing a Huyafa show. We're hoping to get some sponsorship from Youth, Sports, and Culture and Heritage. But that show, I think, is going to dive into like a lot of these elements, because I even heard someone say to me, and this was a cousin that, we know who she is and everything. We know she's in my field. She carries the last name. And she said that she had no idea that Vita Rocket was Cayman's first female pilot. And I said, what? I'm like, you didn't? And this is someone who is well poised. Like, they know a lot of information. So I was a little bit surprised. I need to fix my thing there in the background. I was a little bit surprised that she didn't know that. And I thought to myself, wow, that's interesting. So yes, I think that we need to, talk more about our history. We need to learn more. And yeah, so that is how it goes. So let me see. So, ultimately, I think that these events are amazing, and they're a great way to continue to learn and to connect with each other, and really, make it all about learning who you are, where you've come from, and so on. One of the interesting things that Steve McPhee was telling me about my dad. Now, he has a brother. I had no idea. I don't know why I never heard about his brother. Apparently, he's got a brother that lives in Cayman Brac. And he was talking a little bit about, his brother and what his brother does. And he's married to a lady from Japan. She's Japanese. And I thought, oh, wow, this is so incredibly interesting. And then he was talking about my dad a little bit. He said, did you know that your dad and some other gentleman that he mentioned, he says they were the experts at sinking ships? When he said that, I thought to myself, that sounds mischievous. I'm like, sinking ships because they were always drunk on the ship? Like, what were they doing? And no, it wasn't. It wasn't that. Apparently, he said that whenever the owners of the ships needed a ship sunk for insurance purposes, but it was kind of weird how it was said. I still haven't quite gotten the gist of it, if that was like an official job or like a side job, but they were engineers. And whenever they needed a ship sunk, they would call on my dad and this other guy from the Cayman Islands, because they were experts at sinking ships, apparently. Sounds like trouble to me. So anyway, he said, yes, your dad was very good, and that's who they used to call in. And I said, okay. Come, Stacy. I said, all right, Johan, good morning. River Mirando says, show your face. We can't see you. Hi. Sometimes we turn the camera off for different reasons. We're fixing things in the background. Not to worry, I'm here. You see the little picture of me? That's actually me. We have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lucille, all the way from the UK. How you doing, honey
Good
Gia?
morning. Listen to me now.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to take you to court. And I can see you're wearing red, but I'm in black this morning.
Why?
Okay.
Why are you wearing black this morning?
Right. And I can hear you in the Christmas season, but I'm not.
Oh,
I'm by
gosh.
myself.
Oh,
Listen now.
Yes.
I want you to explain something to me. I
Oh,
want to get full information on this.
well, I don't know, but
With
go ahead.
this e-bike, I'm
With-
not going to take up much of your time.
Oh,
With
we're
this
gonna
e-bike,
get there. We're gonna get there, Miss Lucille. Take your
Well,
time.
don't worry, because I need to have some question, because you
Yes,
might have
don't
to open
worry.
insurance company.
We're
Because
going
I
to get
have
there.
one to get my grandson to work and back on time. I don't have no money to buy no car. So I
Mhm.
want you to explain everything to me, because then I'm going to target him on road and prosecute him. Because from he born till now, he ain't no police problem. And I don't want him in
All
any.
right, Miss Lucille, take your
So you
time.
talk to
Take
me
your
about
time. We're
it.
gonna get
Talk to
there.
me about it.
All
Okay?
right.
And you all have a good Christmas at home when
Okay.
it comes. Okay.
All right. We will.
Blessings. Blessings.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get there. All right. we will get to all of that and more. Do not worry. Lots of time. Simmer down now. Good morning, Miss Juanita. How are you? Ooh, joining us from Georgia. Hello, honey child. How you doing? Miss Joy Stewart is in the house. Oh, are those your little puppies? Or are there somebody else's puppies? Those are so cute. Devon says, how you all doing? Great show. I love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Mackenzie. Holy fire. I like that. Barbara G's in the house. Happy to hear that the reunion was successful, as I was once married into the family. Oh, yeah. And they will always be loved and respected as family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, there's so many linkages, if I could use that word. I don't know if that's a real word. Work with me if it's not a real word. Don't put me in the naughty corner if I just totally made that up. But there are lots of connections between families, especially those in Georgetown, you know, the Miles, the Myers, the McFeels. Lots of people are connected. The one thing that I must say that I learned for sure is the fact that the McFeels were never anywhere on the slave registry. I was thinking, really? I got to go check that out. But Steve, I'm going to take Steve McField's word for it, because he knows what he's talking about. And he said, no, they were never anywhere listed as slaves. And I thought, really? He said, nope, they were entrepreneurs, you know, building things for people, making things for people. And yes, that was what they did. And they thought themselves above. You know, no, they were not cut out to be slaves. And he said they have always been people that stood up in the community. He gave a very, very interesting story about when we were fighting for, you know, after they supposedly dissolved slavery, you know, it takes a minute, like hundreds of years later, for some of those institutional racist behaviors to disappear. And they wanted to continue to separate, you know, the children. And they said that the children of color, Negro children, had to go upstairs in the building. You have to crawl up a ladder, go upstairs in the building in order to be educated. And they wanted them to pay 1 pence or whatever back in those days. And he said, you know, this is ridiculous, because those children didn't have any money. Those families didn't have any money. They were coming out of, you know. And so the McFeels were at the forefront of petitioning, started a petition that was sent off to the UK to say, wait a minute, this is just not right. This is not fair. It's not right. It's inequitable, you know, and they pushed to have not separate, but equal, because nothing that's separate is quite equal, right? They push to have integrated education. And I thought, wow, who would have known? Yes, Devon, thank you so much. He says, best show in the Cayman Islands. You're doing a great job. Keep it up, Sandy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Miss Amelia also had her event this weekend, her seniors Christmas luncheon. Miss Amelia, you didn't even invite me, honey child. I see you. I might have been able to come. So I saw some of the seniors, Miss Amelia. I had to go pick up some medication on Saturday at the pharmacy there in Savannah. And I saw some of your seniors decked out, looking beautiful. And they said, yes, we're going to our little luncheon across the way, or Christmas dinner. And I said, oh, wow, that's so nice. They looked absolutely lovely. So Miss Amelia, thanks for all the work that you continue to do with and for the seniors. Barbara says ships were and still are sunken on dive sites and attractions, so they have to be submerged without damage. Yes, I guess, Barbara, there's a proper technique to sinking a ship for sure. All right, phone lines are open, 936-2626, as oh gosh, she just called in, Lucille. As Miss Lucille said, we're going to be talking today kicking off the discussion about e-bikes. All right, so we're going to get into some of this. Now, I should tell you that we are going to have a month-long educational campaign in conjunction with the ministry. Let me see here, so that we can, learn the ins and outs of all of the things that are coming down the pipeline. This is the ministry. This falls under the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure. And they have quite a bit of interviews scheduled. We're going to do social media campaigns, the works, so that everyone can be fully compliant by January the 16th. So some of you are a little bit confused about how this is going to work, and we're going to tell you how it's going to work. All right, so let us get into some of the details. And yes, there are some issues that we need to discuss and talk about, which are real live issues in relation to this. And so let's dive into it. So I prepared one of remember we're doing these deep dive segments. So I have prepared one of these for you guys today in relation to, give me 1 second here, in relation to this particular topic. So it's important, I think, that people understand how this is going to work, obviously, and exactly, if you have an e-bike, or if you were thinking about purchasing one, how you can be fully compliant with the law. So we've done one of our little deep dive segments. Give me a second here, and I'm going to play this for you guys. And again, let me see here. I think this will explain a lot, but of course there is a lot of the elements that we need to talk about. So I have reached out to insurance companies, because as Miss Lucille rightfully points out, we mentioned this last week, one of the big questions around all of this is what sort of coverage can we expect from insurance companies, if anything at all, because the insurance companies don't have to do it. And I tell you what, I think it's going to be a significant risk for them to do so. But let's talk about why it's necessary. I know some of you just don't care and you don't think about it. And I saw a comment from someone who's like, well, I challenge you to tell me about anyone who's ever, who's ever been hurt on an e-bike. And I thought to myself, you have got to be kidding me. Are y'all serious? You don't know people who've lost their lives on these things right here in Cayman? Well, we're going to break it down here for you. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring you the cold hard truth, whether you like it or not, honey child. So let's get on to it. Let's have a listen of this, which is going to break it down just a tad. Good morning, Miss Thelma Lou and Carrie and all the other kittens there in Cayman Brac.
Into some really crucial updates for anyone who rides an e-bike or scooter in the Cayman Islands. A new safety campaign is rolling out, and honestly, if you're on two wheels, you absolutely need to know what's changing. So let's get right into it. So if you're one of the thousands of people who loves the convenience of what they call micro-mobility, e-bikes, scooters, then this is for you. The big question is, are you totally clear on what the law requires for riding on public roads? Let's find out together. The National Road Safety Committee has just kicked off a major public education campaign, and the goal is pretty straightforward. Make sure every single rider understands their responsibilities before a new period of enforcement begins. Okay, so let's get to the heart of it. What exactly is changing for riders when you're out there on the road?
This whole campaign is basically built around 5 key requirements that are already in the traffic law. So let's just treat it like a safety checklist that every rider needs to have memorized.
All right, let's break this down one by one. First off, you've got to be at least 17 years old, no exceptions. Second, you need to have a valid Category 0 or 2 driver's license. That's your moped or motorcycle license. Third, and this one is a really big one, your device has to be registered, licensed, and insured. That insurance piece is so important because it gives you critical protection if there's an accident. And finally, the last 2 are just basic rules of the road. You have to obey all the traffic signals and signs, and you can only ride where it's legally permitted. Simple enough, right?
Now, you might be hearing all this and thinking, wait a second, are these rules totally brand new? That's a fair question, and officials have a very, very clear answer on why this campaign is happening right now.
And this is the key point to get your head around. These requirements have been in the traffic law the whole time. So the law itself isn't changing. What is changing is the new focus on education, which is going to be followed by consistent enforcement. And here's the official word on that from Eric Bush, who's the chair of the National Road Safety Committee. The idea is all about being fair. This isn't about springing a trap on people. It's about giving everyone a clear heads up and plenty of time to get everything sorted out. The Commissioner of Police, Kurt Walton, really drives that point home. At the end of the day, when you're on the road, you are part of the traffic. It doesn't matter if you're in a big car or on a small scooter, the very same rules of the road apply to keep absolutely everyone safe. It's all about shared space, and that means shared responsibility.
Okay, so you know the rules and you know why they're being highlighted right now. The next critical piece of the puzzle is the timeline. When does all of this actually start to matter?
You're going to want to take a good look at this timeline. The education part of the campaign runs from December 19th all the way to January 15th. That is your window of opportunity to get compliant, because on January 16th, that's it. Full enforcement of these existing laws officially kicks in. This whole initiative isn't just happening on its own. It's actually one piece of a much larger long-term plan. So let's zoom out a bit and see how this fits into the national strategy for road safety.
The government's whole approach is called the 4 E's. It's a comprehensive strategy that looks at road safety from every single angle. You've got better road engineering, public education like this campaign, improved emergency services, and of course, consistent enforcement. It really shows they're committed to this from all sides.
And here is the ultimate goal, the reason behind all of this. It's ambitious for sure, but it's so powerful. The long-term vision is to get to 0 road fatalities by the year 2038. Every single initiative, including this one, is a step toward reaching that goal. So the main takeaway here is really simple. Understand the rules, get your device registered and insured, and be fully compliant by January 16th. It all comes down to riding smart and keeping everyone safe on our roads. And that really brings us to one final thought. While these rules are aimed specifically at e-bike and scooter riders, it does raise a bigger question for every single one of us. As our roads get busier with more and more different types of vehicles, what role does each of us play in creating a culture of safety for our whole community? It's definitely something for all of us to think about.
So, oops, my apologies. There we go. So I was just saying, all right, folks, so we're going to put that up on our social media channels a little bit later on today as well, because really this is all about trying to educate people so that everyone is aware of what the rules are. Now, were you surprised to know that the rules themselves are not actually new? It's really about enforcement. It's about let's ensure that we know what the law says, and now we're all going to have to be compliant. So to the gentleman on social media over the weekend who basically wanted to say that, these things are safe and no one has ever, I dare you. He said something like, I dare you to prove me wrong. No one has ever lost their lives in the Cayman Islands on this. I thought, my. This is precisely why they say that ignorance is bliss, because it is. What you don't know, I suppose you think can't hurt you. That's one way of looking at it. But the truth of the matter is, what you don't know can be extremely detrimental extremely detrimental to your life and your well-being. People die on these scooters all the time. Seriously. So let's break it down. The earliest death that I can recall, and some of you are messaging me about a few others that, after a while you kind of forget, to be quite frank and honest. But the one that I can remember, I can't remember her name now, but she was actually a dean or a professor at UCCI. And she was driving, she was scooting along on her scooter right there on, let me think of the name of it now. Smith Road. At one point it splits into Walker's Road. I think she was on the Walker's Road side of it after the four-way stop. And the funny thing is I didn't personally know her, but I used to see her when I would visit my aunt there. I would see her scooting by all the time. And, she would, she would just scoot by and go down to the university. I'm suspecting she must have lived somewhere in the vicinity for her to constantly, because I saw her on more than one occasion. All right. So she would scoot by. And then one day I recall I hadn't seen her in a little bit. And I started to then inquire about, wow, what happened to her? And I found out that unfortunately she fell while on her little scooter and hit her head, and that was it. Unfortunately, she died. Pretty wild. And I thought, oh my God. But of course, this isn't, this shouldn't be a surprise, because any kind of fall where your head is potentially hit is a fall that can be very detrimental to you. Right? Here's somebody else reminding us. They says, yes, we only have the one. Oh, sorry. A guy from Nepal this time last year. Did he actually die? No charges filed, by the way. A guy from the Philippines got hit before COVID. East End came in, flipped his motorbike. So there are examples of this. I do remember that there was one right by, what's that plaza that Thai Orchid is in? What's that plaza called again? Whatever that plaza is, there was one there, maybe a year or two now, that was actually quite serious. I don't know what eventually happened to that person. So listen, in the name of road safety, and I agree with this, there has to be some curtailing and some enforcement around these scooters, especially since they are becoming more and more prevalent. They're becoming more active on the roadway, because I see things that are, quite frankly, inherently dangerous. People are modifying them to make them even more unsafe. As I said last week, I think it was, I've seen some modified to the point where they're actually adding things onto the bike that changes, or onto the scooter, my apologies, that actually changes the center of gravity. And the scooters were never intended to be used for that purpose. And so, once you do that, you're now making that device even more unsafe on the roadway. And there's nothing to stop people from doing it if there's zero enforcement around this. And so I can't blame the government for saying, before this really gets out of control, this is something that we have to put in place. And here it is, it's coming. They're giving you notice that this is going to be happening by January the 16th. So you have time to prepare. You have time to get ready. So e-bikes, e-scooters, Segway. I think she was actually on a Segway, as I recall, but it might have been an e-scooter. I'm not 100% sure, the lady who died. And so all of these devices have to now be completely compliant. So there's a whole, like I said, social media and media campaign that's going to happen between now and January the 15th to ensure that you're completely compliant. So let's go through some of this. I want you guys to pay very, very close attention around how some of this is going to work. So e-bike, scooters, and similar personal transport devices, you have to know what the legal requirements are that are in the law. Now, some of you don't even know anything about the law. You're like, what law are we talking about? It's the traffic law. So the traffic law is already there. It's, let's see if we can get a quick copy of it. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up here. Cayman Islands traffic law. Let's pull it up here. But yes, the traffic law is there, and you have got to ensure that maybe you have a little look-see at the traffic law, because it occurred to me that maybe you guys are actually not cognizant of anything that's in the traffic law, and maybe that's one of the reasons, no pun intended, why we have so many issues, because y'all don't know what's in the traffic law. So let's have a look. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, the Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing, the National Roads Authority, along with the Minister of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure, let's just call them PLAHI, much simpler to say, are all teaming up to ensure that as part of the National Road Safety Strategy here in the Cayman Islands, that exactly, what the rules are around this. So let's have a look. It's easy to find the legislation. In fact, to the gentleman who inquired about, show us the law, I'm going to provide you with the link, because yes, you guys should be familiar with legislation in the Cayman Islands. You need to read up on these things, and you need to, more importantly, know exactly where to find it. Okay, so let me just see here. I'm going to share this with him. He was good enough to say, can we see the law? But I got the impression that when he asked that question, that means that obviously he thinks this is a new amendment to the law. This is something new that has actually been implemented into the law itself. So Marcus, I think it was, yes. Okay, so let's give Marcus the link where he can then go and find the legislation for himself. And I'm going to share it with all of you as well. The more we know, the more we grow, honey child. So one of the easiest places to find it is on the DVDL website. There are other places to find Cayman Islands legislation, obviously. But let's have a look at the Traffic Act 2023 revision. So for brownie points this morning, can anybody tell me? Let's have somebody call into the program. We got to start giving away stuff for Christmas too, by the way. Yeah, 'tis the season. If you guys see me out and about in town with my Santa hat on, pay attention, because that means that, hey, Marcus, morning, how are you? That means that we're going to be doing some Christmas interviews and Christmas giveaways. All right, so tell me if you can, give us a call, what's his phone number? 936-2626. Tell me if you can, what does it mean when we say, this is a general lesson now, when we say that this is a 2023 revision? This is an easy question at a scale of 1 to 10. This is like a 1, but call me if you think you understand what it means when it says Traffic Act 2023 revision. 936-2626. I'm going to dig into my Santa pile and find something for you. All right, so give us a call. That's today's trivia question. Make sure you guys are paying attention. 936-2626. The question of the day. What does it mean when it says in the title, 2023 revision? Dun, dun, dun. Y'all are asleep. Come on, honey child. Give us a call. The phone lines are open. Johan, are you paying attention in class today? Good morning, Miss Lavana. Heaven bless. Good morning. Nobody's gonna call. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on the table just in case y'all are still thinking about it. Oh, there we go. Oh, Miss Lucille is gonna try her hands at it. Miss Lucille, you gonna try your hands at it?
E-bike. E-bike. Police to go harass people on the road for e-bike. That's it.
No. You got it wrong, honey child. You got it wrong. That's no. Next caller, give us a call. I'm like, what the heck? Miss Lucille, you can't pick and choose what laws you want to apply. Sorry, that's not how it works. All right, anybody else? What does the 2023 revision mean? Denny, where are you? I know you're paying attention. Okay, let's have a look at the law, shall we? All right, so it's not a very long piece. Well, depends. It's 104 pages. I was gonna say it's not too long. Maybe it depends on how much you like to read. Good morning, caller. Hello. Uh-oh. Did I answer it? Oh gosh. I thought I did. Oh, let's call them back. Let's see. I heard it ringing and I pressed the little button, so let me call you back. Toll free if you're calling on Flow, by the way. Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Hi, do you think you know the answer to the question, or?
Well, the act was passed, or the law was created in 2023, and now that they're doing some revisions, they're making some amendments, to include these e-bikes and other things. So that's why the revision is there next to it.
No, honey child.
Okay.
Good guess though. Good guess. All right. So this is important because not quite. She was kind of skirting around it, but actually, if I were a teacher, I would say, wrong answer. Because this is important. When we look at a law or an act, we should know what these things mean. So it's good to have a baseline understanding. Good morning, caller. You're gonna get your hands in on this one.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nobody else wants to call in.
Hi, Danny. What does it mean when you see a year and then revision in the law, in the act?
It means that over time, like say when a law is first enacted, politicians go, oops, we want to make a change, or I have a new idea, and then they make another change, and then you end up with numerous documents that represent each of those amendments. And what happens is the Law Review Commission will take all of those amendments, bunch them all together, and then the year that they did that, they will say, okay, that's the 2023 revision. So it includes all of the amendments into one document.
I was looking for such a simpler answer, Denny.
But
let me give you just a layman's version to that. The real simple answer is when you see something like 2023 revision, all that means is that was the last time the law was amended. Yes?
No, that's not correct. It represents, it's not just the last time the law was amended.
But it is the last time.
I know. But what it doesn't tell the listener is what happened during the last amendment. So
but that wasn't my question.
Okay, no, wait a second. Let me illustrate. So let's say you have 2023 was the last time the law was amended. Okay? And then they amend the law again to say, oh, you know what? We're now going to require you to have X, Y, and Z for e-bikes. So here's the new law that says that. Now, technically, the law was amended. But unless all of the amendments are consolidated, it won't be listed as a 2024 revision. you'll see the law say 2023 revision, and then you'll see a 2024 amendment to the law, but they're not consolidated. So yeah, if they consolidate it on that last instance, it would be the last time the law is amended. But if they didn't consolidate it, yes, the law would have been amended, but it wasn't consolidated. So the revision is talking about the consolidation of previous amendments.
All right. And are there any circumstances when they wouldn't consolidate it, and why?
Yes. Because they might think that it was so insignificant. All they were telling you is now e-bikes have to be licensed. I'm not saying that that's what's happening in this case. I'm just saying that's just an example to say they might pass an amendment that says the e-bikes must be registered, as an example, and then they think, well, okay, that should be pretty easy to get. We don't need to consolidate that. But like how they did the revision on the amendments to the Immigration Act, those are very, very complicated. So what they'll end up doing with that is, in order for people to be able to have a chance of understanding the law, they would need to consolidate that.
All right. Okay, Denny decided to do a deep dive.
But I think it's necessary for people who are not familiar with it at all.
Okay. All right, we'll give it to you, Denny. Congratulations. Got a gift certificate for you.
Well, give it to someone else. Thanks, bye.
All right, my dear. 936-2626. So listen, I was looking for the layman's version of that. Very, very simple, but Denny is going to do a deeper dive. That's fine. Okay. Right here in the legislation, as you can see, let's have a look here, right? Publishing details. So it actually tells you this was law number 26 of 2011, consolidated, as Denny says. This is where consolidation can happen, with laws 7 of 2018, 9 of 2020, Act 7 of 2022, and as amended by the Citation of Acts of Parliament Act 2020, which was Act 56 of 2020. All right. Revise under the authority of the Law Revision Act. And again, this is a real deep dive because you don't necessarily need to know all this, but if you wanted to see a history of how this law has developed, certainly you could go all the way back to law number 26 of 2011, which was first enacted on the 18th of November, 2011. So we can see that there's been a history of revisions and consolidations, and that is how now we get to the 2023, the actual act itself is called the Traffic Act 2023 revision, right? Which was gazetted as number 6, dated the 26th of January, 2023. And as you can see here, the revision and consolidation actually happened on the 31st day of December, but normally there's a little bit of time, a week or two, for them to actually get to the gazetting part of it. Now, somebody in the comment section says, can you explain what does gazetting mean? So this is actually a really, really good question. Thank you so much to Cameron. Cameron's paying attention. He says, explain that term gazetted too, San. Okay, honey child. Why not? This is Sip and Learn Monday. So gazetting means that they're officially publishing something in the government gazette so that it has formal public notice. And that's when it takes legal effect as well. So that gazetting date of publication and when it takes legal effect is really, really important. So this is important with all legislation, because for legislation to take effect, it has to be gazetted. So someone was asking me just last weekend, oh gosh, they said, Sandy, all of these immigration changes, new fee changes, is that all going to hit us on January the 1st? And I had to double check because I wasn't sure how quickly they were going to implement the change and have things, in place in terms of gazetting. But I got confirmation that no, it isn't going to all happen on that particular day. It won't be the 1st. There will be some room for probably maybe a couple weeks or so before certain things actually will come into effect. So we'll try to keep you guys updated as soon as we know when something is gazetted. We know, for example, one of the things that will happen on the 1st is the new the new minimum wage. So that takes effect on the 1st. So you've got to know for sure that that is coming so we can pay attention for that one, right? So this is the legislation here. And if we have a look at the various sections of the law, you know, most of the laws are organized in the exact same kind of manner, if you will, the same order. So it always starts out with a part 1, which is an introductory, short title, interpretation, and then part 2 for this particular piece of legislation is registration and licensing of vehicles. Now let's go to part 2A, electronic vehicle registration, right? Then we see there's part 3, licensing of drivers and vehicles. And then we have public passenger vehicles. Part 5 is special purpose vehicles. Oh, interesting. Part 6, construction and use of vehicles and equipment. Part 7, control of road users. 8, control of traffic. 9 has to do with driving instructions. 10, miscellaneous and general. Yes. And then we see that there was something that was repealed under section 143. So we can certainly have a look and see what that is. Just out of interest, I'm kind of curious as to what that is, right? So embedded in this legislation, we're going to see bits and pieces that talk about what we have here, which are these personal transport devices. Now, if you thought that they were just being covered, you would know that probably the last time that this law was amended back in the end of 2022, but the 2023 revision, that was probably when these things were actually put in place. So we have references to things like a moped. What is it defined as? What does it mean? So I'm happy to tell you that we will be having members of the road safety. Let me get their proper name here. They are the, hold on. The National Road Safety Committee, NRSC. They oversee the implementation and strategy of anything really to do with road safety, and particularly this. And it's being chaired by the chief officer for the Ministry of Plahi, which is Mr. Eric Bush. Different members of this committee are going to be coming on the program. We'll be conducting interviews with them where we really go through and we can, have your questions answered, do some deep dives into where in the law does it talk about all of these things. So it is interesting that, a lot of times we are subjected to legislation and we don't necessarily know what the legislation says. So this is going to educate all of us. We are on an educational journey here together so that we can learn who is required, who does this traffic law cover. And so you see all of these vehicles here, they're covered by the traffic law. Now it's going to be enforced. So now you have to know exactly, what you need to do in order to be fully compliant. There's some basics. There really are. So let me tell you what the basics are, okay? Number 1, you have to be 18. My apologies. Look at me already giving you wrong information. You have to be 17 years old, to be able to drive one of these. You have to hold a valid Category 0 or Category 2 driver's license. The device has to be registered, licensed, and insured. You have to comply with traffic signals, signage, and road markings, and operate only where permitted by law. So once again, the requirements themselves are not new. I know some of you think, all these new changes, they're throwing this on us, blah, blah, blah. But the requirements are not new. They've been in the law at least since 2022. So, now it's all about trying to get everyone to be compliant so that the traffic on the roadway, everyone, whether you're an e-bike user or not, or you're in a vehicle, you now know what the rules of the road are, and you have to be compliant with it. You got to follow the same rules of the road as everybody else. All right. Thank you so much. Let's see. Morning, Miss Sue. Yes, that was a good answer, Abby. Since Denny's passing on his gift certificate, reach out to me, Abby. That's a very clear, I think, explanation that most people would understand. So reach out to me, Abby. I'll pass the gift certificate on to you. Hello, Miss Dorothy. How you doing, honey chill? Sia says, I believe these rules should only apply to e-bikes that have been modified to go over 25 miles per hour. Their street legal e-bikes that go under 25 miles per hour should be exempted from having to be licensed. Here's the thing, Sia. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's a problem with that. How would you know? You see an e-bike on the roadway. How would you know whether that e-bike has been modified to go over 25 miles per hour or not? And all these other things. So you overly complicate your life and that of the enforcement officers when you start to have all of these exceptions in place. And just because you haven't modified a e-bike to go over 25 miles per hour doesn't mean that it's not on the roadway. It doesn't mean that it's not any less dangerous than one that's going faster or is modified to actually go faster. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest problem with that. Everyone has to be compliant. Road safety is everybody's business. So if we all want to have, safer roadways, and by the way, I got a call over the weekend. I think it was just yesterday. Somebody said, Sandy, please talk to the drivers, the cyclists, and the pedestrians in particular about how to properly use a crosswalk. I am shocked at the number of people, and I said to the caller, we've talked about this before, but I am shocked at the number of people who do not use crosswalks in the proper manner. And so they're always putting themselves and others at risk, but particularly themselves. They just press the button, start walking. And I'm like, okay. You do that because clearly you have seen a car in Georgetown Hospital connected to, a ventilator or a breathing machine, right? If you care about your own life, you press that button and you look first. I always try to make sure that the driver makes eye contact with me to ensure that they actually see me. Remember what I've told you guys before? That gorilla experiment? There's so many times that people do not see you. You think they see you and they don't see you. So pay attention. So unfortunately, Sia, there is a potential problem with that. And then how do you enforce it? All right. Heaven Bless, good morning. Says, good morning, Sandra. Nothing's wrong with the law. You all know that they're doing this because they see a lot of expats using them to go to work. And they, of course, are you missing a word? Their need to make money, maybe, for their budget. I'm just saying. Well, Heaven Bless, let me maybe put another idea out there, that this has far less to do with making money than it has to do with trying to reduce the number of fatalities and accidents that we have on our roadways. 10 accidents a day. And certainly when they come on the show, we can get the history of the National Road Safety Committee, how they got started. But I can tell you that for years, they've been talking about the fact that they really need to take some aggressive action towards reducing the number of accidents on our roadway, an average of 10 a day. was what the commissioner of police, Mr. Kurt Walton, said when he was on the show a few weeks back. That is a lot of accidents. Remember the video clip that I showed you guys that literally happened in front of me? My dash cam caught it, where, you know, the guy is driving on his old bike and someone just pulls out a side road and knocks him over. I mean, it happens a lot. It really, really does. And sometimes the cyclists and the e-bike and scooter people, they're actually in the wrong. They're at fault. But because there is no requirement for them to have insurance, they get away with a lot. The requirement is there, I should say, but there has been no enforcement of it, right? There's no enforcement of the licensing and so on. They really get away with a lot. Now, is that fair? Think about this, heaven bless, right? You get in an accident. Speaking of which, hold on. I have the perfect example for you guys. Oh, yes. Hold on. Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. I have the perfect example. Because remember that motorbike accident that happened there across from the Compass, where the guy basically slammed into this woman's car? And I can tell you that's not a cheap car, because I think is that a Porsche or something like that? It's not a cheap car to repair. And so I want to try to say now, I need to find out. I want to see if he even had insurance. And remember when we were covering that story, how some of you were like, Sandy, I know this guy. He's always zipping in and out of traffic. He doesn't follow any of the road rules. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Somebody says, yes, Miss Sandra, I remember that accident. I'm trying to find the video. Because if you think that this is something that, you know, government is just making up because they need more revenue, they need more money, what I'm going to challenge you and say to you is that people are legitimately out in the streets losing their lives because of how these people are operating these vehicles, right? So I don't agree with the fact that this is being motivated by money. I genuinely think that the government is tired of putting people in body bags. Some people, have a hard time even getting back home every single day. Yes, I'm going to show you guys some of these accidents now. Some of these, got some of the video footage here. Yep. This was back in July. Okay. So here we go. Let me see here if I can pull this up to just refresh your memories, because one thing I know about people is we have very short memories, honey child. There is a lot that we simply don't remember. Probably a matter of choice. Okay. Let me show you the damage that was done to her vehicle. Okay. And if you think that this is a one-off situation, I'm going to tell you that it isn't. Happens in our roadways all the time. So here is a picture of some of the damage. I can't recall what her final estimates might have been, but I'm sure it was into the thousands of dollars because this bike rider just simply isn't paying attention, speeding, doing whatever they want on the roadway, feeling like, they don't have to comply to the same road rules that the rest of us do. And they have to. They're supposed to be insured. So this is, I think, tell me what car symbol this is. I'm the worst with cars, really. But I believe this is this a Porsche SUV? Well, you guys can tell me. Hold on. When you see the picture, you'll know. You guys can tell me all about this one. Okay. Remember this vehicle, this SUV? What symbol is that, you car enthusiasts? Tell me, is that a Porsche? I can't remember. I just know that it's not an inexpensive car. That much I know. And so all of these parts now have to be ordered in. A Jaguar. Lord have mercy. I'm totally off. Don't even know my car symbols. Even worse. Oh, Jaguar parts. Lord Jesus. Look at that. All of the whole front end has to be redone. Look at there. Mm-hmm. Lights. Hold on. And she actually shared her dash cam footage with us. I remember. And you saw that she wasn't at fault. She indicated, she stopped. And when she took off, here comes this guy coming around a blind spot and zipping through traffic like he did not have a worry in the world. Smash up the woman's car. Now, this repair is literally going to cost her into the thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And what do you want to bet? If you were a betting person, how much would you want to bet that he probably wasn't even insured? So heaven bless, right? One of these scooter people, you're walking and minding your own business and they run you over. Do you think it's fair that they have no insurance coverage? Right? When you get your medical bills, you got a broken leg, you got broken arm in several different places. When you get your bills from the hospital, you have to cover that. Your insurance, if you have insurance, will have to cover it. So there's a question of equity on the roadway as well in terms of sharing the responsibility. And here's the thing. Once someone recognizes that they have no responsibility on the roadway, and I do mean zero responsibility in terms of they don't have to be licensed. They're not going to wear a helmet. How many of these people do you even see wearing helmets? They have no insurance. They're less likely to comply. And this is the cold hard truth now. They're less likely to comply with any of the other road and safety rules, right? So they're more likely to just take chances. They're more likely to go in the wrong direction in traffic, to not pay attention to lights, to not pay attention to pedestrian crossways, and so on and so forth. So I don't think that, this concept that we are going against the green, that we don't want to license these vehicles, these scooters and personal transport devices, I do find it really, really interesting. But it's somewhere in the back of my mind, I think that it speaks directly to the fact that we are becoming more and more of a society who does not care about the laws, right? We want to do things where we just fly by the seat of our pants and we don't really care what the laws and regulations say. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hello, Mr. Dexter. How are you?
I'm fine.
All the best for the Christmas season as it
I'm
approaches.
today. I'm enjoying today as if it's my last day.
Oh,
but it's not going to be my last day.
Praise the Lord.
Coming back to the helmets, these helmets may be approved by the police or the authorities, but they do not wear them properly. They use what they put around their throat. That's not a throat strap. It's a chin strap. Suppose at the middle of that strap should be a cup that goes on your chin, because if you hit that helmet backwards, they're going to choke. People don't realize that, and I've spoken to them, and they said, I've been wearing this for years. I went to the police training motorcycle riding school in Jamaica when I was in the police department many years ago. I want to tell people because I don't want to, but how old I am. And they said, this is not a chin strap. Not one of these helmets has a strap, but it does not have the cup to go over your chin. And that's a chin strap, not a throat strap. Because that in itself could be dangerous. And Sunday, everybody blaming the police. Why don't police pick them up? There's laws, but people need to police themselves, then the laws wouldn't have to come in place.
Yeah, well, the laws are there. So the police, we're going to talk about them when we interview them in terms of enforcement. But yeah, I mean, common sense would dictate, Mr. Dexter, that people should be more concerned about their own safety than they are. But, it's just like in this day and age, we still have people who are refusing to wear seatbelts. We still have people who have children. Remember a couple of weeks ago that young child, I think it was a 7-year-old, got thrown through a window in a vehicle? How?
Yeah.
How? That means that child was not properly secured in that vehicle. And I see that all the time. They have babies and toddlers, being held in a person's hand, not realizing that if you have an impact, that dashboard is going to kill that child. It's going to crush that child right into you. They're not securing themselves. They're not securing children properly. They have children hanging out of windows. They have them walking up and down and in the interior of the vehicle. The reason why we have to have laws and we have to have enforcement is obviously people don't care enough about their own well-being to follow the roads, follow the road rules.
They have to police themselves. Otherwise, the whole country going to be nothing but laws. Why don't they use common sense? Common sense is not common anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But coming back in defense of a lot of these people that ride these scooters, whatever. Drivers have to be a little bit more considerate as well too.
Of course.
You find people that is not even on. They're walking, and if I see somebody trying to get across the road to have no other way to get to their home, I would put on my flashers, stop, go to the center of the road. I know it might be crazy, but I'm probably saving somebody's life. They got angry with you, but then drivers have to be a little bit more considerate to the other road users as well. Because there's some drivers out there that just don't care.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anyway,
thank you, my dear.
And if I don't call it back, you have you and your family and distant family and family you don't have a beautiful and wonderful, safe Christmas.
Thank you so much, my dear. You too.
Okay, bye.
936-2626. Somebody's reminding us of the importance of the usage of helmets, just as Mr. Dexter just said, but not just the usage of helmets, but also to ensure that you are using them properly. Because so many of you are not. It's so crazy. Yay. Caramba. Thank you so much. Keisha says, where can we find the document? So I have put the link in the chat and I will share it on social media as well. Maybe I'll send it out on, you know what I'll do? I'll send out the traffic law on the WhatsApp channel because thousands of you subscribe to that. Okay. So I'll make sure that you get it there. So yeah, you've got to, listen, compliance. You have to be responsible. When you're on a public roadway, it's not just about you and what you want to do. It's about the fact that we have to share this space collectively with each other. Even in terms of pedestrians, there are ways that pedestrians are supposed to use the pedestrian walkway, right? There are things that pedestrians are supposed to do to ensure their own safety. And so here we are. It's in the traffic law. We're going to now just have to comply. All right. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Season greetings, Sunday. And
yes. Thank you, darling. Same to you.
I was listening to Commissioner Walton a few days ago when you had him on. And I wanted to call him, but he had so many things to say that I know he couldn't get it all packed in.
Yes.
And you were on road safer this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But you ever heard the saying that oil and water don't mix?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, and if Inspector, Commissioner or the Inspector of Traffic had a statistic on it, a time You'd watch when the road gets hot. That asphalt gives off oil, right? So you got to it's hot all the way till 12, 1 o'clock, and then it rains. You probably will find that you have more fender benders and accidents at that time than you have before. So I'm no road engineer, as one principal secretary for communication and works pointed out to me. But I told him I born with a lot of common sense. God gave me common sense, and I use it. I see people after it rains. If you're out there, believe you me, you can check it, and the tires on the cars standing. I used to work. I was working on them for 14, 15 years straight, non-stop. And if you some of the tires that they come in with, cross-fly tires and radials and all of that affects the driving and the stopping ability of your car. Even the seam radials. You go and get the seam radial tires, it's better. But you get the seam radial, you get from two different brands in the front. They're both radials. A different patterns in it. But it was the guy from if you check with let's say Goodyear. He said, bless his soul, he did and gone. Byron told me, he said, man, listen to me. But about the asphalt and the oil and this, you ever notice people, you take number one shoe shop, I call him. I mean, Ishmael mightn't, let me call his name. But if you ever notice his parking lot, he's out there at a certain time and he goes and he recoats the parking lot. That's putting back in the oil that the sun has brought out of it. So if people don't realize that, that's why the road cracked up. You see some of the roads so cracked up and all of that? Plenty of it. Like I say, I'm no road engineer, Mr. Mark Scotland. My good friend would be a much better soul to tell you about that. You might believe him better. Believe me? When you see it rain, when you see that hot, you have that hot day and it rains, be extra careful, everybody. Whether you're on a bike or whatever you're on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you, my darling. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas when it comes.
Yes, dear. Oh, and Sandy, before I go.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something. You're coming down to e-bikes now. All right.
Yes.
What about a handicap bike? What about a handicap four-wheel something? Four-wheel can be considered a bike, but it's
what is that? A wheelchair?
Like an electric wheelchair, but a little bit more sophisticated than that.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but I don't really see too many of those on the roadways. I mean,
all the nuances, but
people, yeah, I mean, people don't, I mean, I can certainly inquire about them, but I've never seen anyone using that as a transportation vehicle in that sense. You know, they might put it in a van to have it go to Cayman Bay, and then they ride around Cayman Bay, which is private property. So I
walk with mine every day.
Okay. I'm gonna inquire for you. So electronic wheelchairs.
Yeah, they're really electronic, but they're electric. They're battery, they're battery powered. You charge it up. That's all.
It's a good question. They're like the little ones that they use when you go in the mall in the US. You can rent one and scoot around the mall. But do you know, can I tell you something about those? This is something that I honestly didn't know. Is apparently when you go in the mall and you want those, because I've never really gotten one before, but I did travel with someone recently. You know, I had my knee surgery. So when I've been going, I've been kind of moving kind of slow. But when, no, you know what? I lie. I did get one. I got one over the summer before I did the knee surgery. We went to Legoland, and I was like, oh man, I could see it coming. I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to manage all this walking. So I got one of those, and I wasn't the best at driving it. I'm not going to lie. A couple of times I almost ran somebody over. Especially when I had to, oh my God. Especially when I had to put it in reverse. I was like, let me make sure I look properly. You know, if you got a crooked neck and you can't turn all the way around, you're in trouble. But you know, they require you to give them your driver's license in order to rent one of those vehicles.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
I know, but I went over with my son a couple of years ago, and he got one for me, and I got lost in the mall. I was all over the place.
Oh yes. They needed to make sure that you understood, and then they gave you a little 2-minute lesson on how to use it, because they said, this is how you press forward. They have speed limits on them, so they're not going terribly fast. But nonetheless, they were like, "Yep, this is what you do, and this is how you do it, and we need your driver's license." And so I was like, "Huh, okay."
I remember to have my driver's license with me.
Yeah. That's right.
When I go into Thompson with my own vehicle, my own bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch myself and turn the speed down, because I'm on the road, and and you can go up 6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Those in Thompson, you're dragging a ton of weight behind you.
Right.
If you slow it, but when you go in there, sometimes I find myself in there. I was going too fast when it was running properly. I could go, because I go from Elgin Avenue to Thompson.
Mm-hmm,
On it.
mm-hmm. Yep.
You can travel 22 miles on it on a charge.
Mm-hmm.
So, you see what I'm saying? You be on.
Yes.
I mean, I try to stay on the sidewalk.
Thank
not
you.
on the road.
Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good one. Merry Christmas. 936-2626. Join the conversation. But here is what we know. The current Traffic Act 2023 revision regulates e-bikes and scooters mainly by how they are defined. For example, pedal cycle, moped, motorcycle, special purpose vehicle, and then applies the general vehicle equipment and ticket offenses rules to them rather than having a standalone e-scooter law. So it's all embedded, folks, into the existing legislation. So this is why we've got to familiarize yourself with what the existing legislation says. So the act classifies, for example, a pedal cycle includes vehicles with pedals that are electrically assisted, as long as the electric motor cannot by itself propel the cycle, plus bicycles and other motorized pedal cycles. Because, now you've got e-bikes. There's so many variations of these things: scooters, e-bikes, mopeds, segways, they all kind of generally fall under this general term, as you see here, of, what do they call them? Personal transport devices. Yeah. Okay. So we have a moped. A moped is a two-wheeled vehicle that has an engine of 50 cc's or less that can be powered by the engine, human energy, or both. So these are actual definitions now in the legislation. We have a motorcycle, includes a motor scooter and moped, unless it is an all-terrain cycle. So many stand up or stand through e-scooters with their own motors would fall into this broader motorcycle bucket rather than that of the pedal cycle. So again, you have to go to the definition section to see what the difference is between a pedal cycle, a moped, a motorcycle. And then we have a special electric vehicle, which is a vehicle powered, which is an electrically powered vehicle with a maximum speed of 30 miles per hour or less. And those are treated as special purpose vehicles alongside amphibious ATVs. All right, so first we got to know what they are. Hey, Blair, how you doing, honey child? She says, that's if they even press the button. Talking about these people who go across the pedestrian walkway, taking their lives into their own hands. Marcus, I've asked the question. I'll try to get you an answer on that one for sure. Keisha, hopefully you saw the link, but like I said, I will definitely share it back. Zoe, good morning. Dr. Drizzy says, Sandy, I have one question. Did Mr. Walton engage with insurance companies to find out whether they will insure these bikes? If not, why would they now make it illegal for e-bike users to commute? So just to be clear, the law has been in place for years. So this isn't something new. It's just going to be enforced. Okay? Having said that, it isn't his job to figure out if the insurance company is going to cover these or not. However, I can tell you that we have reached out. I don't think we've gotten any responses as yet. I might have to get on the phone lines today, but we have reached out to these insurance companies to see whether or not they will be covering these vehicles. If they say no, I hate to tell you, but that's one way to get rid of them. And we don't know what they're going to price it at or anything like that. I have no clue. Do you guys want to call some of the companies on the show and see if they're actually going to cover it? Because I'm curious to know as well. Listen, we've been lazy lately. Get up. Every single one of you need to get up right now. We've been so lazy the last couple of weeks. We have not been doing our squats. We have not been getting up. We have not been doing our exercises. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves for letting me sit here and not get up and get moving. What on earth is going on? Honey Chef, we've been lazy. So time to stop being lazy. Where's my counter? Oh God, I'm feeling my knee this morning. We need to get up and start moving. We get so engaged in the conversation.
Moving.
Hello?
Sandy, tell Mr. Walton.
Yes,
if
honey
no
child.
insurance company will insure them, he must take them and pack them up by the station and pay people back the money that they pay for them. They should have banned them years ago when they were selling them.
Miss Lucille.
Yeah.
Calm down. Is it not your responsibility to make sure you know the law and how the law applies? So that when you go out there and buy something.
Listen, I'm not running the law. I'm not running I obey the law. But what I'm saying, why go down so hard on them now? Even that man they're talking about, the disabled moped, they run them here on the road.
Mm-hmm. And what are the
they should have made better arrangements. They should have made better arrangements.
What are the requirements?
What
are the requirements of those in the UK?
I don't know because
exactly.
I can hardly ride my two bike.
You don't know.
I can hardly ride
all
my
right.
now.
So that does not mean that it is not being enforced in the UK and that there's no rules around it. I'm just saying. Just because
I'm not saying rules, but everywhere you go,
just because you see them on the roadway. All right.
But what I'm saying, they should have checked it out much better.
What do you mean check it out better?
Two-wheel bicycle that we used years ago. Two-wheel bicycle is almost like a moped. Moped might have a little more speed.
But Miss Lucy, what do you mean check it out better? It's been in the law for years.
Yeah, but what they're going to do? Is Mr. Walton going to open an insurance company?
No, you can contact
the insurance.
You can
what you need to do
not
start selling.
Contact the insurance company.
Start selling the dash cam for the e-bike. Start selling them.
Guess what? They have those out there too. But you know, you still have to comply.
I'm not going to get too mad at you this morning because you have red on and I have black on this morning.
All right, my dear.
Okay.
All right, folks, get up out of your chairs. We got lots of Christmas dinner that will be had on Thursday. Christmas dinner, Christmas lunch. We're going to be overeating this entire week. I'm pretty sure of it. So let us get moving. Let's do a couple squats, if nothing else. Kind of, work it out. Yes, honey child. So listen, the law is here. Stop arguing with compliance. I mean, no, Mr. Walton is not going to go and have you, Mr. Walton is not going to go and give you insurance for your, when you purchase these things. And I'm so surprised even at parents who go out there and purchase these things and have no understanding of what they're even getting for children, for underage children. Oh yeah, let's let Johnny Ebanks jump on a motorbike until something happens to him, until he crashes and almost kills himself. And then of course, then you start, oh my gosh, I didn't know this. Then you want to sue somebody. Who are you gonna sue? Sue your damn selves for being stupid and not wanting to comply with legislation. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Hello, honey. How you doing?
Not too bad. Season's greetings to you and the rest of the listening public.
Thank you, my dear.
I'm just going to play devil's advocate because let me be clear about one thing. They are quite frustrating, or they can be quite frustrating. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's a few things that people aren't taking into account. Number one, just like everything else, you notice, albeit I question the level of lessons that they get, we have driving lessons for drivers here to get their license. We don't have any ongoing public service announcements on terms of road courtesy, whether it's cars, scooters, e-bikes, or anything else.
Yes.
But what I can tell you, we all suffer from is the mass traffic that we have, and compounded by our cost of living. We are now talking about, yay, get these guys off the road. But here's a few things to that. These people now will go back to pooling together, because if you remember, and there was a particular nationality was very famous for this here a couple of decades ago, where they all pool together and they buy a car and they share a car. So now we're going back to the demand of, okay, I can spend $1,200 or $3,000 on these fancy e-bikes, but usually around $1,200 for these scooters, e-scooters and bikes. That's one less car on the road. What happened is we haven't trained anybody or taught anybody or put any PSAs out there on the proper use of these things. And I got to say, to my disappointment, here's the police knowing from day one that these things legally required insurance, and they've been going for the better part of 5+ years of not enforcing a law. Let me tell you, that is dereliction of duty in any definition, right? So, and the thing about it is, the reality is it's not unexpected or uncommon, even in other sections of the law that aren't being enforced. But the point being is, y'all celebrate with these scooters getting off the road, but mind how you sell it. Careful what you ask for when it comes for increased traffic. It is better to make sure that you have proper educational processes and programs that can teach people how to properly use these things, enforce them, and then you find them, and then we would have more harmonious road usage and less impact on traffic. Because personally, I believe, like I always thought it was crazy that to import a motorcycle at 35% is what it was. I don't know what it is now. It was years when I had a motorcycle. And motorcycles have the least wear and tear on our roads. But I only had to pay 27.5% for a truck. And so it just didn't make any logical sense. And also too is with motorcycles, you have less impact on the traffic. But hey, that's just my observation for the day, is that like everything else, with proper education and the proper enforcement of the rules makes for more harmonious use.
Well,
and until we get that picture, then we can continue on with our suffering. With that, bid you a good day.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas. All right. So someone just reminded us, they sent me a link. They said, but Sandy, the UK has rules in place as well for mobility scooters. That's what they're properly called. I was thinking wheelchair, but they're actually called mobility scooters. So they have it in place just like anywhere else. I mean, I don't know why we think Cayman is going to be the land of the lawless, where we're not going to have anything in place because, oh, well, we have too many people coming here who can't afford a car, who can't afford, listen, I understand, trust me, more than you probably know. I get it. Yes, our public transport system needs massive improvements. Yes, there are people who think this is a cheaper alternative, right? But it is not a cheaper alternative for all of the road users when you think about the potential damage. Talk to the lawyers who deal with personal injury, and they will tell you. Do you know what it cost the Cayman Islands? Because people are not compliant with the laws of this country. People do not have insurance. Look at this accident. Remember, this is what I was telling you guys about earlier, right? Here she is in the turn lane, has her indicator on, because remember, we got the footage from the interior of the vehicle. So I know she was fully compliant. Indicator on, and look, here we go. Kaboom! Right into, good thing he was wearing a helmet at least. And a face covering. So now if that law changes, he might not be able to wear the cloth face covering that he had on. But thank God he had a helmet. It wasn't any worse for him. But guess what? Unlicensed, no insurance. So now the owner of this Jaguar vehicle has to foot the bill of almost, sit down for this one. I told y'all just to get up a minute ago. I did a little mini squat. Sit down for this one. Almost $18,000. I'm going to say it again for those of you in the back of the classroom. Almost $18,000 to have her vehicle repaired. Now, she either has to do that out of pocket or claim on her insurance, right? Which is going to impact, all these claims and insurances and stuff impact everybody else. Nobody lives in isolation. That is why road safety is a matter not just for one or two, not just for the car users, not just for this one. It's for everyone. It's for pedestrians. It's for e-bike people. It's for, mobility scooters. If you got one of those and you want to go out on a public roadway, it is for everyone to adhere to. Now, whether or not I'll call some companies today, I'm not going to call them during the show because we might get nothing else done. We got still 15 minutes left, but I'll call them. I've emailed them and I will place some phone calls to see if we can find out what they're going to do and how much it's going to cost. Maybe they're going to cover it, but I don't know what the going cost is to cover these types of vehicles, just like I don't know what it costs for you to have a motorcycle covered. We'll try to get some of those details. All right. We'll see of the top companies, how many are actually going to and cover, and then we'll find out kind of what the going rate is so that all of you can ensure that you are fully compliant with the law. Folks, no need arguing. The law is the law. The law has been put in place. To that caller's point, the last caller there, Eddie, I agree with Eddie that maybe this is something that the public campaign around it should have been ongoing for a really long time. And listen, I always say this because I do find it shocking, but with this sort of thing, you have to have constant reminders. The public campaigning isn't something that you just do for a little bit and then you ease up on it, because we have a very transient population. People come and people go all the time, and they're not always making themselves aware of what the laws are. So I think that the government has a duty to, constantly inform people of, hey, this is what the law says. This is, whether it's this particular area or lots of other areas, even immigration enforcement, and so on. There can be more education around all of these things to keep our population better informed. Denny says, I suspect insurance companies would only insure bikes with proper lighting and indicators. Again, they may have requirements for some of these things, and who can blame them? Because if you're on these scooters at night and you have no visibility, no reflectors, no nothing, you are literally taking your hands, you're taking your life and putting it in your hands and other road users' hands, which I can tell you from what we see on the roadway every single day, no bueno. That's not a good idea, right? Again, I have footage here, which I'm going to post up later on today, of me driving, minding my own business. And here comes, I needed to cut it down a little bit, but here comes a guy right there by Couture Street, just pulling out right in front of me, like he can't see. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? You don't pull out in front of people and hope that they're going to stop, right? You stop when you're coming onto a main road. You have the obligation to stop and get clearance from both sides. Do not assume that, other people are going to just automatically stop for you. So the funny thing is, that day on Couture Street, within 30 seconds of me driving, there were two people who pulled out in front of me immediately, like right after the other. And I thought to myself, what is wrong with these people? They clearly do not care about their own safety, and neither do they care about my safety or, what it's going to cost, heaven forbid, if they run into me. It's like, come on. The other thing as well, I should bring this up. I'm going to post that video a little bit later on, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. That was just on Friday. I'm trying to find it here on my phone. I've been getting so many messages. So yeah, so that was just on Friday that those people pulled out in front of me, and I pulled it off my dash cam. Don't forget, honey child, 'tis the season to get yourself a dash cam for the safety of your loved ones. We've got them in stock, so reach out to me. Just had one, somebody else purchase over the weekend. They said, oh, my loved one always wanted this for Christmas. So this is a nice Christmas gift. And trust me, you would be surprised. Oh yes, here it is. I'm going to download this on my little jump drive here, and I'm gonna, it's 5 minutes. I have mine set to 5-minute increments, but I'm going to actually, put it down so that you can see less of, you can just see the 30 seconds of these two cars pulling out in front of me like they're crazy. So let me see here. I'm going to save this. Yes. All right. So we got lots of this to cover. Like I said, this is just the beginning of this campaign. We will get there, and we're going to go through it. And I'm going to save this. Yeah. So don't worry. We're going to get through it. Now let's talk a little bit. Let me give a big shout out to Digicel here. Digicel has some specials on. So please don't forget, these specials are on up until, right through to December 31st. They're Christmas specials. So if you're still looking for a good deal or a nice Christmas idea and you don't know what to get your loved one, perhaps a phone is the solution.
Christmas, the season of love, laughter, and just a little bit of chaos. Sometimes the ham has other plans, and sometimes the road to Christmas cheer feels longer than the 12 days themselves. Was it 3 eggs or 4? Better call Granny, she always knows. But in the rush and the mix-ups, it's easy to forget what matters most. Christmas isn't about perfection, it's about real connection. This Christmas runs on Real Connection, only with Digicel.
All right, folks, so don't forget, Digicel has some amazing giveaways leading right up until the end of the year. They're going to be doing, you make a purchase, you upgrade, all these things will get you qualified to get entered to win one of 30 amazing prizes. And they're doing 10 draws weekly. So great deals and everything from prepaid and postpaid mobile phones and service, specials on Digicel Plus internet and broadband service. And again, you get the opportunity to be entered into the Christmas raffle, everything from free phones to free service plans. So pay attention. Here's some of the deals that you can take advantage of at your local Digicel location. They've got 3 stores to service you, everything from Savannah, Countryside, right in Georgetown, there on the waterfront, and the Camana Bay location. So postpaid customers, you can get signed up for a new postpaid plan, get the first 2 months for free with first 2 months with 50% off. And you can also sign up on your postpaid plan for only $10.69 a month and get tons of football and sports content directly to your phone or at home. So these offers are valid for existing postpaid customers. Prepaid customers, you can get a Samsung A17 with a 10-day plan for only $249. Digicel Plus, sign up today for their super fast fiber internet, 350 megabytes per second for only $76.50 per month. And sign up for any home broadband service, and you can get a $300 store credit for towards a new phone. Existing customers, no down payment on any handset financing for postpaid customers that have been with Digicel for over 2 years. And if you're already a postpaid customer, you can now upgrade to second line for only $50 per month. So check them out while supplies last, and terms and conditions do apply. And the Christmas offers are valid now through December the 31st. I know that you guys have been taking advantage of these deals because we've been getting a lot of feedback. Yes, positive feedback, honey chill. And don't forget that if you top up your phone $20 or more, you get a chance to win a brand new Samsung A36. If you activate a 7-day plan or higher, you get entered to win that phone as well. So this is part of the Digicel Christmas giveaways. For postpaid customers, if you upgrade your postpaid plan, you can get a chance to win a new iPhone. That's nice. And if you upgrade your phone, you can get a chance to win a new iPhone as well. You know how else you can get entered? Go pay your bill. Yep. Pay your bill on time and in full, and you'll get entered to win a new iPhone as well. If you're a D Plus customer, if you upgrade your home internet plan, you have a chance to win a new iPhone. And if you pay your bill on time and in full, you also get entered to win. So they're going to be doing 10 winners per week right up until December the 31st. And Digicel will select the prizes based on the offer the customer took advantage of or the transaction conducted. And of course, they'll reach out to you and let you know that you have won, honey child. All right. So visit your local Digi store today and get yourself and your loved ones all sorted out for Christmas. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Let's have a look at this video now that I'm about to show you, honey chow. And this is, by the way, did you see the police officer just run by on foot? There he is. Lots of police presence. Yep, there he is getting a little exercise there, honey chow. Lots of police presence in town these days. Thank you, RCIPS. They were all over the place. In fact, that day I thought something might have been up because I saw a police motorbike. I saw FRU. I saw them all look like they were in a hurry. I don't know where they were going, but then I didn't hear that anything happened. So that was good. So I suppose they were just, making sure there's enough presence out there. Did you guys hear there's a $50,000 award for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of those two guys in that robbery? Yep. What's the thing called? Stoppers, Crime Stoppers. They're another one who needs to do more advertising, honey chill. But yes, they're offering a $50,000 award. Go get your money, honey. Somebody knows who those two men are. I'm just saying. All right. So look at this. Look at that. You see the bad driving? This is what I'm telling y'all. Every single day without failure, these dash cams are catching people doing the worst things on the roads. Okay? Look at what this driver just did. No indicator, no nothing. Your indicators are there for you to use so that people know what you intend to do. Look at that. This is what we have to contend with. Just to, of course, to be fair to him, I don't know what this other vehicle was doing. Looks like they were trying to get into CIBC, and I guess there was a line or something there, right? So not to say you can't go around a vehicle, although that is a solid line. But what you should do is you need to at least indicate, because here I am driving, minding my own business, and he just pulls out. So yeah, it looks like that car is going to parking lot. No patience. What is the hurry? What is the rush? Where are you guys killing yourselves to go is what I would like to know. Like, seriously, you're going to get there 1 minute sooner. Whoop-de-doo. Yay. You arrived 1 minute sooner. Like, what is the big deal? Okay. Let's keep going. All right. And you also, a lot of you don't seem to know where to give way or how to give way. You always give way to the right when we drive in this country. Okay. So look at us. We're continuing to drive through central town. Yep. Pedestrian walkways. You got to pay attention to those. There's been a few now added in the Savannah area. So here's why I thought something was going on. First, I saw that police vehicle. Look at this one. And then I saw a bike as well. And they looked like they were in a bit of a hurry. I was like, wonder where they're going. See the police bike coming now? He was in a hurry. Lights on, lights flashing and everything. I was like, some police action. And there's another one. Another FRU vehicle with lights on. I thought, oh my God, was there another robbery? I was like, message me if you hear anything, honey child. So taking the little roundabout, here we go. Yep. Driving. Look, another. Oh, there's a moped user. I thought it was another police vehicle. No, that one was a moped user. Okay. All right. So we're coming down this. What's this cut through road by this 1GT? That's Goring Avenue. Oh Lord, sometimes I can't remember the names of the streets anymore. I think this is Goring Avenue. All right. So we're coming down the road. Another pedestrian crossway. We got a lot of those. Somebody was saying to me last night, how many roundabouts does Cayman have? Oh God, a lot. We're a place that believes in roundabouts. Some of the drivers pull in front of you and drive slow. That's the least of your worries, I'm telling y'all. The slow drivers are traditionally not the ones causing the accident. So here we go. Now pay attention. You're going to see this guy pull out here shortly, right by Couture Street. So now I'm on Walker's Road. Driving. Yes. Okay. Look, here we go. He's already halfway in the road. Now, to be fair to him, but look at the things from my angle, right? There is a van that is parked on the road. This is where you guys are causing problems, okay? So in order to even see, he had to pull out way further than he should have. Whose van is this? Danny, this is right by your mama's house, so maybe you can go and see if it's still there. I don't know if it's broken down or what the issue is, but you do not park a van on a roadway like that. This is the kind of stuff that you take a copy of this, you take a picture of this on your dash cam, and you send it to the RCIPS, and you find out, why is this driver parked right there, actually blocking Couture Street, so that people come out of Couture Street have to come way out in the roadway. But if he had had an accident, he would have still been at fault because he has to come out of a side road safely. But like I said, to his credit, there seems to be some kind of construction van or something parked right there on the corner. That is like the worst place to park. Like, come on. So of course he's coming out, and look at this. Can't properly clear the street with me like literally right in front of him. I had to put on my brakes. Look at how close that was. And then the funny part about this is the guy had the nerves to give me attitude. I could see him looking like, oh, why didn't you stop? I'm like, I'm not supposed to stop on the main road. You're supposed to have clearance. So yes, he gave me attitude, and I was like, really, dude? Are you serious? I still let you out. Didn't run into you, because if I'd ran into you, you would be at fault. But then look, it's not over yet. If you thought that was the end of it, have a look at this. Look at what's coming up next. Another person does the exact same thing, pulls out in front of me because I guess they can. So look, here she is now, same thing. Like, really, woman? You don't pull out in the middle of the road and hope that somebody's going to stop. That's how you get sideswiped. That's how you get hit. You see, within 30 seconds, those two drivers did that, and they should not have done it. This is 5 minutes on Cayman roadways. And I can tell you, I see so much more of this on a daily basis. These dash cams have been an eye-opener for me personally because of the ish that I'm like, oh my God, did we just capture that? Robert says it's 9:29. I have my tea. FOFO time, auntie. Oh, we trying to behave because Mr. Amelia has her grandnephew messaging. 13-year-old told me he likes to listen to my show, but he don't want to hear no profanity. Robert, we might have to start having private sessions when we can curse somebody out, where it's email invite only, no children allowed. When we can really go FAFO, when we can really go ham, no children allowed. When we got to talk about some of these politicians and stuff like that. No kids. That's not a bad idea. Do like a webinar. FAFO, a webinar, the cold hard truth version. We might have to do that, honey child, because boy, these children, they want to be listening. And then we don't put it on social media, because then that way they're not able to go back and listen to it. Carrie says, wow, Grand is indeed a shit show extraordinaire. But Carrie, that is in the span of less than 5 minutes because I didn't even finish playing the full 5 minutes. This is typical of Cayman Roads. Every single day. This time of year is the worst because there are more people out there. And I can tell you, I don't even want to, like, getting this close to Christmas. That's why I'm not bothered with nothing called Christmas shopping or anything. Don't worry about it. Now, I'm going to go out probably tomorrow. Wednesday might be pushing it for me. But I am going to go out and do some Christmas interviews and stuff in Georgetown. So you'll see me with a little microphone set up out by the tree, stop and say hello. Yeah, I'm going to do that. But I'm telling you, I hate driving on the roads this time of year. It's the same reason why Thanksgiving in the US, you will not see me out tomorrow. You're going out and shop for Thanksgiving. I'm like, who? Not me, honey child. I don't want to be on those crazy roads. Thanksgiving? No. You know what we used to do when I lived in States of Thanksgiving? You stayed your backside home. I did not go anywhere. Stayed home. The football were on. American football's on for the men. The women are in the kitchen, getting the table sorted out for the big Thanksgiving meal. And that was it. Nope. Going out on those crazy roads? Oh, no, you can keep that. I'm not interested. Sadiqa, good morning, honey chow. How you doing? Says these people don't care. Every day I have these mad drivers encounters. Scary. It is scary. Abby says, I hate driving in Grand Cayman. OMG. It is scary. So, enforcement of the laws, reminding you that they're already there. Yeah, it's coming. So just know your part. Sarah, good morning. Says, kaboom, Sandy. This is a daily occurrence on badly lit streets. No one is saying get rid of them. But as a driver, if you pull out in front of me and you get hit badly or injured due to your fault, can you afford insurance for hospital and fixing my car? Plus, I have that on my conscience that I hit someone. Yeah, Sarah. I mean, there's that too. So I don't know. Waking up the Cayman Islands says Caribbean people need to travel Europe and experience life abroad and stop being so outlawed with these simple things. I mean, it's ironic that right in the UK, they have the same laws, the same enforcement, but y'all living over there and still don't even know what's going on and you don't care, but you're worried about, it's just the Cayman Islands. Let's just ignore everything till the whole place goes to being a total shit show. How about not? How about we become more compliant as a community? Lavana says, let one of them hit my car. I bet you they'll change their tune. No one is saying that they must come off the road. Just get license and insured. I agree with that. What is the big deal? There was a time when you had to license your bicycles too, but y'all not even doing that anymore. I can't remember if that's still in the law. That may no longer be a requirement. But it's just a free-for-all. Everybody wants to do whatever they want to do. Keith, good morning. Sorry, Kevin. Conley says 20 miles and up is a class 3. Look at the poor cyclist. Thank you, Kevin. Look at the poor cyclist that lost his life there in Bordentown, that last one. And we've had multiple cyclists over the years. Kevin, when I saw your cycling picture, this made me think of how dangerous the roadway can be for the cyclists, moped users, and these people as well. But they also have to comply because some of them are not following the rules on the roadway. Anthony says the UK mobility scooter rules require users to have a disability with a class 2, maximum 4 miles per hour restricted to pavements, and class 3, maximum of 8 miles per hour allowed on roads. No license is required, but class 3 must be registered. Insurance is recommended, and key restrictions include no motorways, bus/cycle lanes, or tandem riding. So there's still rules in place. Thank you, Anthony, for that. Jenny, it's not about trying to get rid of them. It's trying to make sure that everyone is compliant with the law because the law does require compliance. Okay, so thank you. I was actually looking this up, Anthony, as I saw that on the whole UK thing. So they have a whole national framework for mobility scooters. They're treated as invalid carriages with class 2 and 3 rules apply. in the US, they have disability laws and local traffic laws that govern these single, because there's no single national scooter code. So it depends on exactly which city and state you're in. All right. But yes, sometimes they have no pavement rules in the UK for class 2 machines. Sorry. Class 2 machines are for pavements and footpaths only. Class 3 machines can be used on the road, but are still banned from motorways and cycle-only lanes, bus lanes, and high-speed dual carriageways. Users must obey normal traffic rules and use lights and reflectors at night. In terms of registration, Class 3 scooters must be registered with the DVLA. That's what they call their thing. They're in the UK. But need not display a number plate. Class 2 does not need registration, and Class 3 road legal scooters must meet design limits. So maximum unladen weight of about 150 Gs, maximum width, capable of 8 miles per hour, must be equipped with brakes, front and rear lights and reflectors, indicators, horn, and at least one mirror. An amber flashing beacon is required on certain dual carriageways. So while you guys are sitting here, complaining, there are similar rules for different categories in the UK as well. Mm-hmm. What a mess. What a mess. All right, good folks. Continue to tune in. I need to go and check out the new bus park here in Savannah, because some of you don't know that it's there and it's been done. So I'm going to maybe go by there a little bit later on. So we can get some video footage of that. Good morning, Sandra. I'm going to put some ackee, plantains, and breadfruit on the fence for you. I don't need the bag back. Oh, good morning, neighbor. Oh, what a beautiful neighbor. All right, I'll tell Miss Stacy to go to the fence. Ooh, we got ackee, plantain, and breadfruit. And I bought a bunch of plantain because I'm going to fry some up for Christmas. That's going to be my plantain treat. Okay. So, all right, I do have to check on my Christmas beef to see when I need to pick that up so I can get that all seasoned up. Oh, someone says you did not give Eddie a kaboom for what he said about what he said the government should do before slap people in the face so sudden. Well, it's not sudden. They're giving you a whole month. You have until January the 16th. Let's be fair. Okay? Come on now. Come on. That's not enough time for you to sort yourselves out? Why? Because in this day and age, all it takes is an email. What y'all stressing yourselves out about? How much notice do you need that the law has been there for like years and they're finally going to enforce it? Oh, my Lord. Okay. Oh, somebody's sending me one in real time. Oh, my God. Is that in Cayman? What the hell? Lord Jesus. Thank you, honey child. Wow. Oh, my God. If you don't see the reason why, I got to post this one up. This is a great infomercial. If y'all do not see the reason why these vehicles on the personal, what do we call them? Personal vehicles, whatever we call them. If you don't see the reason why they need to be regulated as the law requires, why that has to be enforced, let me show you this morning that someone literally just sent me. This is why. Don't get upset at the Cayman Islands government, honey child. Who you need to get upset at are people like this. Look here. The what? You see? This is what y'all want on the roadway? That is what y'all want on the roadway? talking about, oh, that's cheaper than people sharing the cost of purchasing a vehicle. Really? That is how y'all get killed. That is so dangerous. No, sir. Morning, God no sleep. Yes, we have more dash cams. Let me do a shameless plug here this morning. You guys know that I started bringing these in only because I see the madness that's going on the roadway. And have a look. Perfect example. It's like, really? What next? All right, let me see if I can pull up my little dash cam infomercial here for Christmas. Yes, we've got tons of inventory. And in fact, I keep saying that every single government vehicle needs to have these dash cams as well. That'll cut back on some of the abuses and misuses of the government vehicles. Because some of y'all, I have caught you on the roadway. Picking up people and dropping people off after I see that it actually says right there, no drivers allowed. And y'all still driving. Y'all still picking up people, I mean. I see you. And sometimes I'll be messaging your bosses too. Oh, I just saw that truck pull off on the side of the road right there in Crew Road, picking somebody up. And they're like, really? Did your dash cam caught it? It sure did. Honey chill. I'm just saying. Y'all be up to some stuff. This person says she looks like she's hanging on for dear life, and people wondering why we need to put these laws in place, why we need to enforce them. All right. Message me. Beautiful. All right, honey child. 324-1612. God no sleep. Damien, good morning, sir. Says in the UK, it's illegal to ride a privately owned e-scooter on public roads, pavements, or parks. They're classified as motor vehicles needing insurance, tax, MOT, and a license, which private ones lack, leading to fines, points, and seizure. I mean, you know, yeah. Yep. El Rey says no drivers allowed. Yep, that's the problem we have. Lord have mercy. Well, they are government vehicles, and some of y'all be doing the most in them. All right, folks. It's this Christmas season now, so we got lots of things to cover. And I want to wish you guys a safe day. Especially if you're going to be out there driving, please be careful. Honey child, all I can tell you is to be careful on the roadway because there's so much going on out there. It is hell of a scary. Oh no, there was a 56-year-old Bulgarian man from Chicago, died Monday while in immigration and customs enforcement. I guess that was last Monday. Custody at the North Lake Correctional Facility in Baldwin, Michigan. Oh, wow. That's so sad. His wife criticized the treatment he received, saying he was treated like an animal despite living and working in the U.S. for 30 years. Oh my God. Tisk, tisk. Oh my gosh. So sad. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, honey child. What a mess. Ay, ay, ay. All righty. Oh, looks like Dean is having a fabulous time in Miami. I see you. He says, so what can you really accomplish in 24 hours in Miami? Forget the shopping. My wife and I went all in on the city's vibrant day and nightlife, starting with the best breakfast at Bistro Cafe. Yes, sir. Couples do the date night getaway 24 hours is all you need to make it truly memorable. Aw, I like that. That is so cute. Good morning. You even went to a concert? Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, not bad. How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Same to you.
All right.
What's on your mind?
You're on this subject this morning.
Yes. I'm surprised it took you so long to call in. I was expecting to hear from you earlier.
Okay, we're going to talk about dangers of texting while driving.
Well, how about you talk about some of these e-scooters, since that was really the topic?
All right.
I'm just saying. Mm-hmm.
I want to get this off my chest first.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I taught this at John Gray High School before, and it was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know Crew Road. Crew Road. Do you know the speed limit on Crew Road?
Crew Road. I feel like it's either 25 or 30.
It's not 25, it's 30 miles per hour.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are in the festive season.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone is going out shopping. And should you be driving along Crew Road at 30 miles per hour,
Mm-hmm.
I always tell students, make sure in slow-moving traffic, make sure you can see where the rear wheels are making contact with the road surface. If you can't see the rear wheel making contact with the road surface, you are tailgating or falling too close behind the vehicle in front.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say you're heading east. You're coming up on Ryan Road, and that driver is going to make his left turn to go into Ryan Road.
Mm-hmm.
Some people make their turn and don't put an indicator, or maybe the bulb is not working. They put it on, but the bulb didn't come on to show that he's making his left turn.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did was step on the brake and swing in and make his left turn. And run to the back of that guy's car, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're on your quick question.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to visit a friend on Christmas, taking a little gift for them. So you text them to let them know that you're on your way. A short message to let them know that you're on your way. How long would it take you to type a message to say, "Hey Jennifer, I'm on my way"? How long would it take you to type that message?
Well, am I driving?
You're
in your
driving,
scenario,
yes.
I shouldn't type the message. I should just, at the most, send a voice note. But what you could do is before you even left home, you should say, okay, I'm leaving out now. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
I'm just being devil's advocate.
I know.
Devil's advocate to say.
I know.
How many seconds would it take someone to type that message?
That sounds like a long message that your eyes would be off the road. So, like I said, I'd probably just voice note it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you type. I mean, I'm a thumb typer, so that means that both my hands would be off the wheel. Not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it.
I remember I was at John Gray teaching this, and a little person said, "Oh, when my mom is texting, when she sees the police car, she drops their phone in her lap."
Mm-hmm.
I laugh. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, should you text a text like that? You say it sounds like a long message.
Yeah.
So, okay. Should you be driving along that road, 30 miles per hour? Did you know if you're driving at 30 miles per hour, you're covering 44 feet every second?
Mm-hmm.
In 1 second, you take your eyes off the road, you cover 44 feet. So if you take your eyes off the road for, say, 4 seconds, it's 44 times 4. So that guy touches brake to swing into Ryan Road.
Mm-hmm.
You're in that person's Lexus, or don't let it be a Tesla or whatever vehicle that's going to be, because you're going to be paying for that guy's vehicle. And of course, colliding that vehicle, you're going to be at fault. Your insurance is going to pay for that vehicle. So that's the danger of texting while driving.
Mm-hmm.
So no texting while driving.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the reminder. Have a good Christmas when it comes.
Thank you.
All right, my dear.
And talk about, quickly, don't leave me yet. Talking about e-bikes, e-scooter. You know what part of the vehicle is the A-pillar or the windscreen pillar? The windscreen pillar. You know what part of your vehicle is the windscreen pillar?
Say that question again.
Windscreen pillar.
Windscreen pillar.
Yes.
No.
You know, but maybe you're that area between the windscreen and the door.
Oh, you mean that it's kind of like a blind spot?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well,
And I tell you what, on different cars, it can be very. Some vehicles is bigger than others.
It blocks your view if you're coming out of a junction.
Yeah. And I've noticed that some vehicles, because of the design of the vehicle, that area is a lot bigger than in other vehicles.
Ooh.
Yes.
No, it forms a blockage when you're coming up a junction, and then those e-scooters or e-bikes, you cannot see them.
Mm-hmm.
If they're coming up on you from a junction, you're gonna not see them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful,
Mm-hmm.
and they just appear upon you.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with them.
Yep.
But that's my rant for this morning.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Take
it.
care. All the best.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good Christmas.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
All righty. Will the police confiscate any e-bikes and scooters that are not licensed, etc. after I think the answer is going to be yes. I believe they have the power to ticket, confiscate, make you go to court, because if you're on the roadway, as with any other vehicle, and you're required to be licensed, have insurance, etc., and you don't have it, normally that is not a confiscation. That's a court date in traffic court. And then the judge will decide what to do with you. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. All righty. Thank you so much. Miss Lucille, have a beautiful day. What should I say? If I was home this morning, I would not be a dog thief. I would be a breadfruit thief. I would take that bag off the fence before Miss Stacy gets to it. Lord Jesus. Miss Lucille. My goodness. You're missing breadfruit, huh? What a hot mess. All right, stay tuned, folks. Like I said, we're going to be having everybody from, I'm sure, the chief officer, the commissioner of police, other members of the Road Safety Commission, the National Road Safety Committee, on the program over the coming month. So they're trying to reduce road fatalities by 30% by 2028, with the goal of achieving zero fatalities by 2038. It's definitely ambitious, but it's not impossible. We could all do our part and do better. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's a beautiful day in the Cayman Islands. Hope that you guys have an absolutely fantastic, and I do mean fantastic, day. Christmas, let me tell you how many days. Hold on. Let me get my little Christmas counter. Christmas countdown. Dun, 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 dun. 3 days. Nope. Why does it say 3 days? Then this one says 2 days. I guess it depends on where you are in the world, technically. 2 days, 14 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds. Yeah. And then the Christmas tracker begins. You get to see where Santa. Oh, I found a little Christmas tracker site. Oh, I think I'm going to make Gigi play this today. Oh, okay. We're going to pull that up on the computer for her to have a little fun Christmas time. All right, folks, please be careful on the roadway. I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Don't pull out in front of people and assume that they're going to stop for you. Make sure you've got full clearance. Okay, honey child. Y'all have, Abby says, no brownies for Johan. I'm going to make him some for Christmas. That'll be his Christmas present for me this year. I'll make him a few brownies. With or without nuts. With or without coconuts. The coconut flakes on top. Oh, those be so good. Yummy. All right, folks, be good. Have a beautiful day. Get ready for all the best Cayman style beef and everything else we've got to offer. We will see you guys on tomorrow morning, 7:30. We're going to go straight through the Christmas holidays. Pretty much we're going to take Christmas Day and Boxing Day off because we got a lot of important messages coming your way. So we will be here. Normally I take like a week off during Christmas. This year we're going to run it right up until December 31st. Have a beautiful day. Oh, speaking of that, let me do a quick announcement. Sabrina Turner is taking some time off for the holidays. As you guys will know, when she was MP and minister, the 4 years, she barely left the island, much less took any time off. So, of course, her schedule is her own to make here on CMR TV. So she has decided Friday was going to be her last show until the new year. So she is off until January. I don't know exactly what day in January. I'll double check. But she is off until then. So there will be no show in the evenings. Sabrina Speaks. And yeah, I think Make We Talk will be on this evening. Mind Matters. We got an episode coming up. And then I don't think we have a Court Matters for this evening. I actually needed to message Wendy because we were going to take the time off as well. So let me see. Okay, yeah. So a lot of the creators are taking this week off for the holidays. Okay. Lovely. Everybody good? See you guys tomorrow morning. All right. Take care. Mr. Duke Marin says, advise Caymanians, most important advice to Caymanians and outsiders, stop eating. Lord have mercy. Duke, you're a one-track broken record now. There's more things to talk about. Yes, that's important, but that's not the only thing in the world to talk about. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. Toodaloo.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.